All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank the beautiful crowd that's assembled here tonight and everyone who is tuning in remotely. Michelle, do we have any agenda changes this evening?
I had an addition yesterday to items for board action. G, the approval of an educational field trip. We added on. The board does have an updated personnel report that's highlighted with some recent changes this week as well.
Very good. Have we received, actually, ahead of myself, is there anyone wishing to address the board in agenda related public comment this evening? No? Okay. Michelle, do we have any communications to report?
No communications.
Okay, very good. Then I'm going to move into board and staff report. We are going to start with Mrs. Jessica Blair, who is the principal of this school. Jessica?
I'm actually going to welcome our third grade students. And this is Hamlin, our music teacher. They have a small performance for you to start with. And then we'll get into my presentation.
Hey, man. This is great. Thank you.
Hello, Board of Education. My name is Leah Reeves, and for our student voice portion, we are excited to tell you about what we have been doing for the past couple months in our fourth grade music class. We have been working on our musical Granny McBee's Christmas Eve. Our show will be on December 14th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the gym. There will be a dessert reception to follow after our performance. We have been working really hard on our show with our music teacher, Mr. Tamlin. There are about 60 students in the cast. The show has many different characters. There are candy cane dancers, snowflake dancers, and Christmas toys, and our 6 lead roles. Each class has their own role. In the show, they each have their own special part as well in their songs. Granny McBee's Christmas Eve is set in 1956 in a little farmhouse. Granny McBee tells a bedtime story on Christmas Eve. Watch as her precious grandchildren become sleepy during her storytelling and drift off to dreamland. It seems their dreams come to life right before our eyes through the magic of song. Tonight, not all of us could be here, but we are still excited to show you. The scene we are doing happens right after the snowflakes come to life and snow starts to fall from the sky. Hope you enjoy it.
Oh, so beautiful. Too. I just had the strangest dream that all the snowflakes came to life and danced around the room. Well, we're gonna dream about eating Granny's pumpkin pie tomorrow. Me too. Has a whipped cream on top. Me too. I like the chocolate stars and not with cookies best. Me too. But my favorite sweet is still a candy cane. Me too. Well, I never. You children are excited. Come back over here to your old granny. Did I tell you about the time we made taffy? We put butter all over our hands so the taffy wouldn't stick when we pulled it, but little pieces would break off and stick to the floor or the table. It seemed like we were cleaning up taffy for the next week. Little Swan, those were good times. It's really, really late and I'm really sleepy.
So listen, I was in of plays and musicals in high school. All of your acting far surpasses anything that I did.
Testify.
Good one, yay.
Now, you said that this is on the 14th, is that correct? Okay, is it in the evening? What time is it?
It's 7 p.m.
7 PM on the 14th. Okay. I think that we're all very fortunate tonight to see this performance and just a lovely job. And I love when our students are involved in extracurricular activities and thank you for blessing us with this performance tonight. Does anybody else want to add?
Just ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to see the full show on Thursday, December 14th at 7 PM.
We do have some certificates for the children here.
Nathan, come on up. Okay. Eden. Elena. Peyton Elliott.
Good job.
Me too.
Well done, Mike.
Congratulations. Leah Reeves.
Thank you so much.
Right, well, thank you all for coming. Thank you, parents and families and staff who are going to be voting tonight as well.
Really fantastic to see this turnout. And I'm super excited. So we have a third grade concert that night at 6 PM on the 14th, and then at 7 PM, the fourth grade musical will start. And this is the first year that we're moving towards a musical production for our fourth graders. We typically do a concert, so we are really excited, and the fourth graders have been working very hard. And we're excited to see what you can do. All right. Well, I am Jessica Blair, principal here at Ohio Elementary. To start with, just gonna on a little personal touch inside your baggies and actually over on the tray over here, everybody's welcome to get some treats here. But that's my son, my older son. The younger one you can see climbing on the counter in the background. But the older one, Landon, is in fourth grade, and I had the opportunity this year to help him with his Iroquois project in fourth grade. And in his school, he has some options of what he can do, and he chose to make Three Sisters Iroquois corn muffins. So you each have a lovely treat from Landon and I of Three Sisters Iroquois corn muffins. And this picture, actually, we decided that maybe the Iroquois didn't readily have cornmeal or brown rice flour. So we decided to figure out how to make our own cornmeal and brown rice flour. And he started with a hammer and that was pretty taxing. So we got out this really upgraded Ninja and it ground it up really well. But this was a fun little project to do. So there's Landon. But starting with our mission statement, Watertown City School District is committed to building a caring culture that fosters lifelong learners and responsible citizens. And everything we do here at Ohio Elementary is guided by this mission right here, and also our logo of our children, our future. I would like to introduce, or at least go through our list of new staff members this year. We have Dan Davis as a cluster aide, Kara Graham is a new one-on-one aide, Stephen Hatchell, an ENL teacher, Mackenzie Howard, RTI Math, Jamalette Latimer, school psychologist, Elizabeth Roy, a one-on-one aide, Tyler Tamblin, you just met, our new music teacher, Julia Yano, a one-on-one aide. And we have a couple staff members that are not new to the district, but they are new to Ohio Elementary. Jennifer Cooksey, RTI Math, and Amy Coyer, our brand new head custodian here. So super excited. This is an absolutely rock star group of staff. So kudos to Tina and her crew for all the hiring that went on over the summer and last spring, because really we have fantastic staff here at Ohio and I love it. And one push for me this year was actually to share the wealth of our teaching staff with the world. And we invited on 2 student teachers for this semester and also 2 field placement students. So up and coming, we have Amelia Emra and Abigail Kosensky just finishing their student teaching with us this semester. And Kelsey Case and Eva St. Croix are working on their field placements, and we'll have student teaching coming up likely next semester. So awesome crew right there. I'll be looking for those names. Just a little remembrance. Ted Eckhoff was a custodian here in the district here at Ohio Elementary. He just passed last November. And we had a group of staff that had worked with him in the past that put some money together for a tree. So the tree finally made it out. It's right on the corner of the building here. A beautiful pine tree. We had the help of Jefferson County Soil and Water and a landscaping business out near Lowville who helped us dig the hole and get the tree all set up and found us the perfect tree. So just a little remembrance for Ted Eckhoff. And now we're going to grace you with the Ohio School Song. And a shout out to Mr. Tamblin and Mike Shanley for their assistance in putting that video together. We sing that, the students learn that song right away when they come here. They love to sing that song whenever they have an opportunity. We do it at every assembly that we have. So they have really embraced that song. Highlights from 2022-23. I haven't seen you all since last November in this capacity. So I just wanted to review some of the things we've done since then. We did welcome the Watertown Wolves hockey team. They came in and 2 or 3 of them went into each of our classrooms and read a story. And you can see the center one on the bottom there. The 4th graders decided they were done with the story and they really wanted to learn as much about the Watertown Wolves and how much money you make and what you get to do and how they got here. The kids absolutely loved that. It was a great opportunity. The players embraced it. And then when they got done, they snuck in the gym and had a little kickball game. Tournament of the Books. This was new last year. This was a March Madness thing. A couple of kindergarten teachers put this together for our entire building. They set up different books to compete against each other. Every classroom in the building read the book. And then they used a Google form to vote on the book, and that moved it along through the tournament throughout the month of March. The final one, though, we had Jefferson County let us use the voting booths, and we had students vote for their final 2, and they got their little I voted sticker. And the winner was Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. So we'll see for this March who the next winner is. Talent show. This is something that has always been very big here at Ohio Elementary. Coach Sullivan and the PTO team up. We have lots of kids prepared to perform everything from dance, gymnastics, hula hoop, basketball. We had a comedy show. We had some pretty awesome acts. So that was very cool. We teamed up with Jefferson County Soil and Water. You can see in the bottom right picture here, they come into the classroom, they teach our fourth graders about the sewage and drainage systems and about planting trees and how to do that and why that's good for our environment. And then they take them right outdoors and they plant a tree here on the property. And they go check out the actual drainage systems here and they explain why they're placed where they are. And every student went home with a every fourth grade student went home with a sapling that day. So we look forward to actually welcoming them back again this year. There we go. Multicultural Fair, also a huge event here at Ohio Elementary. Karen Gibbs led this up for us. So definitely going to miss Karen Gibbs as she's moved on to a new district. But I think Stephen Hatchell is all prepared to take this on. We welcome foreign exchange students from IHC and the high school, and also some students in one of the foreign language clubs at the high school. They run a lot of the stations. There's tastings for the students. There's different crafts to make that go along with different cultures. And then the hallways of the building are plastered with all sorts of different cultural pieces, garb. There's a massive elephant tusk. There's some really cool stuff that we bring to this. Dr. Seaver and her sister have been all over the world and they love to share all their things with us. So they will be coming back in May. Garden beds. Last year at this time, I told you one project we were putting in the works was the replacement of the garden beds out back. They were in really rough shape. So Benjamin Outerkirk and his class out at BOCES came with a donation from JVA Civil Engineering, who was able to donate all the lumber and materials. This spring, they got them all set up and ready to go. And then we got our students right out there and planting. We had quite a few tomatoes and zucchini and squash. So that was exciting and something new for the students to see. This year, we hope to make it a little bit bigger because the beds were just done in May last year. So it was kind of late for us to really get things up and running. So hopefully this year we'll make it a little bit bigger. Oh, and we're going to hear from some more students.
I'm thankful for all the books we have to read and learn from. And I'm thankful to have my teacher, Mrs. Papianikis.
I'm thankful for all the Ohio Street teachers in the school that taught me new things. I'm thankful for all the toys we have. I'm thankful for lunch and music. I'm thankful for breakfast. And I'm thankful for Miss Papianikis.
I'm thankful for the heat in our school. It keeps us warm and comfortable as we learn. I am thankful for playing games and PE. I'm thankful for tacos that we have for lunch. I'm thankful for our school lunches. I love the tacos.
I am thankful for Chromebooks because they have learning games and fun activities to help us educate and more.
We'll have a few more of those presentations throughout here. I'm going to hand it over at this time to Amy Briggs, who is our Positivity Project Extraordinaire, and knows all there is to know. And she's got some big goals for our school.
It's my teacher voice.
Okay. Is that going to be?
Is that going to work? Oh, you need it? Okay. Okay. So for those of you who do not know what the Positivity Project is, it's also known as P2. It's a program based in the other people mindset as its core value. The program is deeply rooted in the field of positive psychology. And Jeff Bryan and Mike Irwin are the co-founders of this program. They studied under Dr. Chris Peterson of the University of Michigan, who believed that anything that builds relationships between and among people is going to make you happy. And I think we can all agree that when we have good relationships with our coworkers, with our students, and the students have it with themselves, much more learning takes place and everybody is happier. This past summer, I had an extraordinary opportunity to attend the Positivity Project in Savannah, Georgia, and it was the leadership conference. I met the co-founders there, and I became re-energized about this program and immediately came back and wanted to talk with Mrs. Gaffney about all of the opportunities that this will afford our district. To begin with, The other people matter mindset follows 5 virtues. Being present and giving others my attention, knowing my words and actions affect others, supporting others when they struggle, cheering others' successes, and identifying and appreciating the good in others. Next, there are 24 character traits that fall under these 5 virtues. Character traits such as perseverance, integrity, bravery, forgiveness, and not coincidentally, this week we have been studying gratitude. The beauty of this program is truly in its simplicity. Each day, the daily lessons are grade specific. They include a character card with a definition trait, a quote that sparks discussions in our classrooms, age-appropriate character trait videos or activities, followed by discussion questions. At the end of each week, teachers have the option of having students complete a reflection journal. And in that reflection journal, students answer 3 questions. Let me go back here. Those 3 questions are, why is this trait important? How do you demonstrate this trait? And how do others in your life demonstrate this trait? The idea is that consistent exposure to character strengths, vocabulary, and concepts builds an understanding and appreciation of others, as well as self-awareness and self-confidence in our youth. So after returning from Savannah, I contacted Mrs. Gaffney, and I wanted to talk to her about new and exciting ideas that came out of this conference. And I believe that they will make a difference here in the Watertown City School District. She, as well as Mrs. Blair, asked me to find a way that P2 can work cohesively with PBIS. And I believe that one way to marry these 2 programs is through the use of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 toolkits. These small lessons, or these lessons for small groups, include many many lessons, including emotional regulation, conflict resolution, grief and trauma, and many more. Finally, at the conference this summer, and this is the piece I'm most excited about, a school from South Carolina was granted the Green Shield recognition. This distinction is not granted lightly, and a great deal of criteria goes into applying for this distinction. So with Mrs. Blair's blessing, Ohio Street School is now implementing some of the criteria this year, including community service projects for each grade level, morning announcements describing the traits, and a bulletin board to showcase our students exhibiting the character traits they've learned throughout this program. It is our goal to have earned this distinction for Ohio Street School no later than June of 2025. And there is so much more that I would love to share with you about this program that I don't have time to tonight, but would be more than happy to share it with you if you have any questions. It is important to note that for this program to be successful and to be implemented with fidelity and integrity, that all staff needs to be trained in it. That includes our cafeteria staff, our custodial staff, our aides, our teachers, and our administrators. As a P2 trainer or as a P2 leader, I would be happy to do that if you need me to do that. In closing, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for the amazing opportunity to attend this leadership conference, and I look forward to working with you on this project in the future. Thank you.
Before I move on, does anybody have any questions for Amy right now?
I do. Are you implementing this, and you're implementing this here in Ohio?
Yes.
So are you doing this in the other buildings, or is this like your pilot?
So no, P2 has actually been in the district, I think 6 or 7 units. So it is implemented in the K through 8 grades, I believe. It's the Green Shield distinction that Ohio is working towards right now.
And is that gonna follow through to other buildings
I
or,
certainly hope so.
okay, that's the
I
intent.
certainly hope so.
Okay.
Any other questions for Amy right now? All right, we have another video share from our kindergartners.
I am thankful for the toys we have. I am thankful for the crayons we have for the PTO. I am thankful for the power. I am thankful for the books we have. I am thankful for the green books we have. I'm thankful for the yellow and green books that we I'm thankful for the red and red.
Okay, so now we'll move on to some highlights from this school year already. Optimus Prime, I know many of you have already heard about Optimus Prime here in the district. I do have to give special recognition. Amy Briggs was actually the brainchild of Optimus Prime coming to the district. She made that connection for us. And then from there it snowballed to a great community opportunity for us where Guilfoyle and the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's department were all able to support us in that effort. That for that 2-day period, it was a great presentation. The students were super excited to see Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. And he did a nice job really talking about standing up for yourself when you need to. We recently had our Veterans Day ceremony. Mr. Tamblin had 3 grade levels sing songs for the ceremony. We had a handful of 4th graders come up and give poems. And then afterwards, we invited the veteran family members that attended with their child here into the cafeteria. And our PTO sponsored a little donuts and juice social for us. So you can actually see in the main lobby out here, our Veterans Day Wall of Honor for this school year and all the veterans that family members of Ohio Elementary asked us to recognize for this year. Family Bingo Night was a huge success this year. We had over 230 people in the gym last Thursday night. It was awesome. We have high school students. They come down and they are the bingo callers for us, and they run around the gym when somebody calls out bingo and checks to make sure you have bingo. Our staff here at Ohio Elementary donates all the prizes, new and lightly used items for all ages. And so it was a huge event. You can see everybody there playing some bingo. We were also able to team up with Cornell Cooperative Extension for this. Betsy Hennessy did a clothing swap and got out some information for my brother's keeper. And Julie Swenson and Stephanie Haglin had a table set up with lots of free books, which you can see over on the right side there. So every student went home with several free books. And they also had resources to talk about supporting reading at home with your child. After school activities we have up and running right now, our 4-H and SAC program here has 30 participants. We have a STEM club 2 days a week after school that has 25 participants for this first session. That'll be wrapping up in January, and we'll start a second session to get a new 25 students that opportunity. We have 17 students here getting tutoring services in ELA and or math. And we also have 7 students participating in the Good News Club. Community connections. I'm always a huge proponent for bringing the community into our schools and making our school a huge part of the community. So we want to thank this group right here. The Watertown Fire Department either came here or we sent our 4th graders over to the fire station. But they came for each grade level and presented a different truck. We had a ladder truck, we had the smoke trailer, and a couple other trucks in their equipment that the firefighters use. The Elks Lodge donates dictionaries to our 3rd grade students. So they come in, they do a little performance, and it's really neat throughout the school year. If you go into the 3rd grade classrooms, every student has that tucked into their desk. And as they're working on their writing pieces, if they want to look up a word, they get that dictionary right out and they look right through it. So that's really neat to see them still using that tool. The YMCA, we partner with them obviously for the SAC program, but for some other PTO events throughout the year, like our fitness night. Cornell Cooperative Extension, we try to include in every family event we do. Betsy Hennessy tries to come to as much as she can. 4-H also supports a lot of our events. We are welcoming the high school flute choir and the high school wind ensemble in December for a performance here. So we look forward to that. Rev Theater comes to perform for each of our grade levels throughout the year. We have the American Red Cross. They will come in March. They do a blood drive here, but they also go into each classroom and they have a program specifically for this age level to talk about donation of blood and why we need to donate blood. And Jefferson County Soil and Water, I showed you earlier the presentation they did last spring, and they, like I said, they'll be coming back in April. And here we will hear from our third graders.
I am thankful for my nice teachers. I am thankful for the fun lessons that my teachers teach us. I am thankful for the friends I have made. I am thankful for my caring principal, Ms. Blair. I am thankful for our permanent secretary, Mrs. Davis. I am thankful for the books from the library I can read. I'm thankful for Mr. Mike and our green classroom. I am thankful for Miss Snow who takes care of us in the whole affair. I am thankful for a safe environment I can learn in.
Okay, and I did leave some data in front of each of you if you want to see it a little better up close. But to start with, I will go over last year's iReady data. If you look at the screen or on your paper, either one, the bottom line where it says diagnostic 1 was the diagnostic that all students took in September. The top line is the final diagnostic, which was taken in May. So you can see we had some exceptional growth here from September to May. You can see 9% were that 3 or more grade levels below, and we got that down to 4%. The biggest jump there, the 2 grade levels below, 35% in September went down to 10%. That 1 grade level below is pretty similar. It's 50% and went to 53%, but a lot of that was movement from those 2 or 3 grade levels below, and really jumped the green up at the top. So great movement and with our iReady math scores. Last year, this time I presented on our intervention services that we were piloting here in the district, and much of that did go into the new intervention plan. And I think our data really showed that intervention services that we were providing was really making great movement for our students. So we are continuing to do that here. And so annual typical growth, iReady says a third grader is supposed to make this much growth in a year. A kindergartner is supposed to make this much growth in the year. So 85% of our students in the building last year made the typical growth that they would have been expected to. 22-23 reading diagnostic results. So this is the same thing, but for the reading scores. And again, you can see a much diminished red and a much greater green line up at the top. So some great movement in those iReady scores. And for reading, that typical growth, actually 97% of our students last year made that typical growth for the year. So we're very proud of that. This is the current year initial diagnostic. So this is where we're starting this year. It looks very similar to where we started last year. So we have the same movement to make, or even better. And this is the reading diagnostic where we're starting this year. We will hear next from our 4th grade students.
I am thankful for my teacher who guides me through the stuff I need help on. I'm also thankful for my friends who lift me up when I get upset. Thankful for Owen and his kindness and how he makes me laugh. I am thankful for my friends. I am thankful for being able to learn. I'm thankful for my teacher.
I am thankful for reading and recess and lunch and breakfast.
I am so grateful and thankful to be here at Ohio Elementary. I'm thankful for all the teachers here that help us learn and grow.
I am thankful for school itself because lots of other kids don't have opportunities like us do.
So again, you have this data in front of you. This is American Reading Company student reading levels from last school year, by each grade level. So you'll see 2 bars for kindergarten, 2 for first, 2 for second, 2 for third, and 2 for fourth. The top bar is October 14th of last school year, where we would have had all the reading levels put in. And then June 20th, the end of the year data, and you can see great movement at every single grade level there. You can see the percentages a little bit better on your screen, and I'll show everybody on the next screen here as well. So these are the percentages of students that were at the emergency level in October, and then the emergency level in June. Also the at-risk percentage and the proficient. If you kind of look down at the bottom of the screen, that is the total for the entire building. So October 14th, we had 39.4 students in the emergency level and 30.9 in the proficient level. And with our art coach, I set a goal to try to get our building to 25% in the emergency and 55% in the proficient. We didn't quite meet that goal, but we made some pretty extraordinary movement towards that goal by June. And June 20th, we were 29.8% emergency and 51.7% proficient. So pretty proud of that movement. That was a pretty lofty goal for us. I do have the same goal this year. So here is the data from the end of the school year last year, June 20th, and then October's data for this year. October's data looks pretty similar to what it did last year in October. So we have about the same movement to make. We are going to try to hit that 25 and 55 goal again. Panorama is something that's been in the district for quite a while, but it hasn't been successfully used yet. They have redeveloped some things in their system that we think have made them a little more user friendly for us. So my PPT team is really working hard to take the data and utilize it specifically to support students who have struggling behaviors or low attendance or low academics. So the academic data you can see is empty right now. It's all zeros. That's because we haven't got to report card time yet. Once we get to report cards finalized in December, hopefully that will roll over into Panorama, and that will show us where our kids are falling with the academic data as well. There's attendance data that is up to date right now. So the dark green Panorama says that is on track for college and career readiness. There's a light green that's on track for graduation. The yellow is at risk. And the red is critical, and you can see the key of what fits into each of those places for attendance and behavior over to the right. There is also a bar for SEL, social emotional learning. If the students take a social emotional survey and they have a variety of them, that will filter data in there too. And what we can do with this is we could click and select the box where it says 7% attendance, and it'll pull up that group of students that are in that 7% of our building right there and tell us. We could also select that and students who are critical for behavior and see, who's in both of those areas. So it's filtering some nice information for us. Through this, the PPT team is making intervention plans. Panorama has a playbook of interventions for academic support, for social emotional support, for behavioral, for attendance support, lots of different interventions that we can use. So we're able to take that and create a whole intervention plan with our team to support our students a little better. Just some things we're looking forward to this school year: 4th grade musical, field trips, concerts, spring dance. Read Across America Week was a hit last year, and we'll continue that this year. Our talent show, our fun day. We have a holiday workshop coming up where all students create ornaments and gifts for their families. We have an ice cream social at the end of the year and family fitness night and a lot more PTO events and fun things to come. So finally, we will hear from our first graders.
Teachers who teach us exciting things. H, helpful and happy custodians. A, art and assembly. N, nice nurses that make us feel better. A, word kindness, principal who leads us all. F is for fun, F is for friends. U is for upbeat music. L is for learning, lunch ladies, library.
All right, so that's what I have for you tonight. What questions do you have for me?
First of all, round of applause.
Yes.
Does anyone on the, anybody have anything?
Jessica, your song, did you guys write that?
So Jordan Dewey wrote that song a couple of years ago. She was a music teacher, 2 music teachers ago. She wrote that song. It continued on through our music teacher last year, who was also moved on. Mr. Caglin was able to pick it up, and we are actually working on getting a sign displayed in the gym with the Ohio song. So it's been around for a few years.
Very nice.
Well, Jessica, to you, to Tyler, Amy Briggs, and Sully, and everyone else who works in this building, you raised the bar not only in your presentation, which was phenomenal, and we all know how much time that took and effort, but in your community and family collaboration and all the great things that you're all doing here, we're all better for what you're doing for our students and their families in this presentation. And to the children who came tonight and gave us a scene, I just couldn't be more impressed with every person here. And thank you so much. And I mean, when I say that we look forward to coming back next November.
Mr. Davis, I'm sure will make you more stomach.
No, that's why you were saying that.
So before I move on to the families and our students who are here, this is your time to leave and be a kid. If you choose, if you want to stay, you're more than welcome.
Never, no, I love it. I love it. Yes.
Moving along, we have Joseph McLaughlin here tonight for Community Voice. You're Joseph.
Yes.
You have big shoes to fill following that presentation, but I will turn it over to you, sir, for Community Voice.
Well, there we go. Well, thank you for having me tonight. And 2 things right off the top of my head, it's pretty cool to be here at a school board meeting. I haven't been to one of these in a while. And I'm kind of partial to tacos myself. And I also thank you very much that you had a veterans ceremony here. I appreciate that because as you can see by my name, I'm a veteran of Fort Drum, New York, and you folks live in a pretty big Army town. So I'm here to talk about a program that's been going on for a long time called Adopt the 10th Mountain Platoon program. And I can't really take credit for coming up with this program. It was given to me by the late Mike Plummer. I don't know if you guys knew Mike Plummer, very famous guy in Watertown. As a matter of fact, there's a highway named after him coming into Fort Drum and a gate. That's how famous he is. And the way I ended up running his program is his wife Marion was sick in the hospital, in the same hospital where my mother-in-law was. And every single time I went up there, Mike kept working on me to take the program over. And after a while, I just decided to go ahead and do it and take over a fantastic program. And the idea behind this program is to show that the community still cares while our soldiers are deployed. Right now, you have soldiers right now from the 10th Mountain Division in Iraq, in Kuwait, in Syria, in Poland, and Romania. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe if you're a military person, you might know that. But our soldiers are still deployed around the world. And this program is designed to show that the community still cares about them while they're deployed. And that's what I'm here to talk about tonight. So again, thank you for having me. Let's see if this baby works. How you like that? So the program was created again by Mike Plummer ever since 1992, which is a long time ago. Every platoon from Fort Drum has been adopted by someone. A platoon can be as big as 25 soldiers, 30 soldiers, down to as low as 5 or 6 soldiers, depending on what kind of a unit this is. But if it's an infantry unit, it's probably going to be about somewhere between 20 and 25 soldiers. It can be a command group, it can be a section, it can be a platoon, whatever group that we put together that are working together as a cohesive team. What is a sponsor? A sponsor is a school, a church, a VFW, a business, an American Legion. I can't tell you how many different organizations we have that are adopting platoons from the 10th Mountain Division. How does it work? Once somebody signs up to adopt a platoon, and I actually run the program, and I run it under the auspice of the Association of the United States Army, which is a worldwide organization it's an organization that supports soldiers and families. We have the Northern New York chapter up here at Fort Drum. But we also have our main headquarters in Washington, D.C. And the idea behind AUSA, the Association of the United States Army, is to make sure that our soldiers are taken care of, that they got the best equipment when they deploy, they get decent pay, decent medical care, and all that stuff. So it's a big organization. Our little Northern New York chapter runs this Adopt Platoon program. So once somebody adopts a platoon, I coordinate with the platoon and the organization that adopts a platoon. In a perfect world, before the platoon deploys, I link that organization up, school, VFW, church, whatever it is, with the platoon, and they develop a relationship. And when the soldiers deploy, if they need something while they're deployed, it gets sent over to them via flat rate post office box. It's pretty much how it works. So while they're deployed, especially during the holiday season, we've had many different examples of different things being sent over to our soldiers, from homemade cookies and beef jerky and crackers and, Kool-Aid and all that kind of stuff, to somebody who, and writing cards for all the soldiers, Christmas cards. What happens is we provide you a list of all the soldiers' name, their rank, the sex, how old they are, and if they like, and the hobbies that they like. So when somebody's birthday comes around, you can send them a birthday card. And it's pretty cool when somebody comes back and say, hey, it was pretty neat. The only birthday card they got while I was deployed was from my adopted platoon. So that's pretty neat when you hear things like that. And the relationships that develop afterwards, there's so many that I can't even mention them, but the long-term relationships that happen long afterwards by sending a little something to soldiers that are deployed. And having deployed a few times myself, it's nice to get a package, even though it might not be from home. It might be from somebody that got together and wrote little Christmas cards from a first grade class or a second grade class to the soldiers that are deployed. See if we can do this again. So where are we right now? I'll tell you that. This is working good. So it's under the auspice of the Association of the United States Army. The current status, right now we have 20 each platoons adopted from our division headquarters. Our division headquarters is currently redeploying right now in the next couple of weeks. Matter of fact, we have a redeployment ceremony tomorrow night for our headquarters of the division, who was deployed to Romania and Poland for 9 months, and 9 months is a long time. They're already adopted and they're coming back. Our 2nd Brigade Combat Team that's in Iraq, Syria, and Kuwait has 120 sponsors. We have 120 different organizations that have sponsored 120 platoons from the 2nd Brigade Combat Team. So that's done and that's working, and they're sending stuff back and forth, and hopefully when they get something, our soldiers reply back, and it's all done via email. our soldiers have email when they deploy. They usually have pretty good access to email. What I'm looking for as that bottom one is we have another brigade that's going to deploy this spring, and they're going to Iraq too. So I'm looking for 55 more adopted platoons, sponsors for that organization. So, I mean, kind of the last three things say it all, you know. We develop a point of contact for that. If somebody wants to do it, spread the word, my name and I created an email for it, Adopt the 10th Mountain Platoon Gmail right there. I get on that just about every single morning, and people who want to sign up, if you have a group that wants to do it, I'll send you all the information you need to brief your group, and you can sit down and talk about it and decide what you want to do. It's not really a very expensive program. The biggest expense is, you know, a $20 flat rate box is pretty much what the expense is, depending on how many you want to send over there. And one thing that I put down there in the very last bullet is you have to kind of realize, like right now, if you just look at the news, there's a lot of things going on in that part of the world. So our soldiers aren't really getting back with everybody when they get something, and mail is slowed down because mail is not the most important thing that gets moved around when things are going on during a deployment. And that's starting to slow down a little bit, and the soldiers are starting to get mail. Usually takes somewhere between 15 and 25 days for a package they get from Watertown all the way over there. But they are busy, and they are preoccupied doing other things right now. I don't know what it all is, you know, I just know that they're busy, you know, they're hunkered down, you know, they're trying to protect themselves. You only have to look at the news to see what's going on in that part of the world. But that's what I'm here for tonight. I'll stick around for a little while if you want me to, if anybody's got any questions. But the idea behind this program is to show that the community cares about our soldiers, and the community has done a phenomenal job of stepping up to the plate and adopting these soldiers. I just can't believe how many different organizations come up to me all the time and say, yep, we want to do this. And they reach in their pockets and they pay for stuff, and they're very, 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 this is a generous community. That's why I decided to live up here for the rest of my life after I retired. So thanks a lot for having me. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them best I can.
Here's
Yes,
my
ma'am.
card. You have 54 left to go.
At 54 left.
Here's my card. You have 54 left to go.
Oh, right. Yeah, you like that.
There you go.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
This is worth my trip.
Well, Mr. McLaughlin, I grew up right here in Watertown, and Fort Drum has changed this community for the absolute better. And a friend of mine, Gordon Jacobs, had sent me this idea, I want to say about 8 to 9 months ago, and I'm embarrassed that it took me that long to bring this to light, because I think what would be good is for our schools to adopt a platoon, and then it would be great when the soldiers came home to come and talk to our students, because Fort Drum is a blessing, and I think that we should absolutely recognize it and give something back.
Well, I know Gordon both from church, and he's a friend of mine. He's been retired like mine. I was wondering how this whole thing happens, and I finally figured it out.
9 months in the making. Yes.
Okay, but I mean, what you said is, you know, that's the idea behind it. And a lot of times these guys will come back and come to the school and visit us, come for Veterans Day. And they can do that. They just need to have a little bit of lead time, make sure that it's okay with their chain of command. And that's what it's all about. And are you Jason? Is that right?
Yes.
So Jason, 100%. That's, you know, and if you have any problem with them doing that, I can get involved with that, because I'm involved with a lot of stuff on Fort Drum in my capacity as a retiree, and in a few other organizations I'm involved with. So 100%, that's what it's about. That is hitting the nail on the head, is having some soldiers come down to the school and let them touch and feel a real life soldier.
I just think about the number of students that we have in our buildings that are either of a military family or have family that works on Fort Drum. And what a great way to honor their time and sacrifice by supporting them when they go into the field.
100%.
Absolutely.
Where you guys are located right here, the housing area, a bunch of those kids got to be military kids.
Joseph, I want to thank you for presenting tonight. Larry Schmigel, the superintendent, and we have a meeting coming up with administrators, so we're going to add this to our agenda to see what motivation and energy we can get. At the building level, we have, volunteering is a critical part. Our military plays a critical role in our community. And as you said, John, we do have many students that are military dependents. And so we're excited about that and what we can do to partner with you.
Perfect.
Do we have these?
Yes.
Yes.
I've already got one right now, so this is worth my trip.
Well, I'm just gonna, if they agree to do it, I'll be like, I can help head that up since
Our next deployment starts in the spring, so I'm just starting to build the list of these 55. So you got some time to think about it and think about what you want to do.
Well, I think it would be nice and, if we're gonna go to our building administrators and ask our buildings to do it, I think that it would be nice for the people who sit at this table to adopt one. Also, and I realize that that's gonna be some further discussion, but I don't see where that would be an issue, and I think that we owe it to the military.
53.
Well, I've already got about 10 or 12 of that 55 already.
Good.
I mean, it's really amazing to me, and I still, that's why I enjoy doing this, is how many people just step up to the plate. And there's still a lot of patriotic people. It's a good feeling for me as a former soldier, and my son's serving too, so it's pretty cool.
Thank you for your service.
You don't have to thank me, you guys are worth it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything for Mr. McLaughlin?
So do you want me to stick around, or I have no idea what happens after this?
I don't either.
Executive session, which is why I gave you my card, so you didn't have. to
Okay,
leave.
so I'll go ahead and leave, but send me an email and I'll promise to answer it. Thank you for having me again.
As Lori mentioned, we are in need of an executive session for the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I have a motion, please? Lori, in a second.
John.
Cully, I heard Cully. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand in executive session. Mrs. Lori Converse, Policy Committee Meeting Report.
So today we went over a policy that we had brought up a couple weeks ago, policy 7068. And this was originally called limitations on the use of timeout and physical restraint. It's a policy that's required. We've been made changes. First of all, timeout is not something that is permitted by regulation. We don't use that. We use more therapeutic ways. So what we are going to be changing it to is limitations on the use of safety interventions. So on the policy, many times it says physical restraints. Anytime it says physical restraint, page 1, it says that a couple times. We're going to change that to safety intervention. Page 2 of 6, it talks, there's a whole section about timeout, and we're not going to be using that section at all. And that's considered seclusion. Then we've got page 3, that's going to be changed where it says currently we have timeout. It's going to be changed to safety intervention, and then it's going to be used to just the principal. It just says right now, it says superintendent, assistant superintendent, administrator. That's just going to be changed strictly to the principal of the building as the designee for each building. And then everything on that page that says timeout will be changed to safety interventions. The following page, everything on timeout will be changed to safety intervention, and the top of each page is going to be changed to safety intervention as well. The following page, same thing, just the changes of the timeout to safety intervention. On the very back of the page, the document that needs to be filled out whenever there is a safety intervention was 4 pages. We've now changed it to just 2 pages here. And then we added a spot where if any further action needs to be taken for the principal to sign and the teacher. We were going to approve this today, but as we were going over it, like I said, the title was incorrect. So we have to get that changed and send that back before you guys can approve it. So we're going to table the policy for tonight and then bring it back for December. Let's see. That's pretty much it.
There's just two other pieces. Is there's a direct correlation to the CPI training that our staff
Oh, yes,
take.
that's right.
And then the other one is that the legal requirement now is that after the safety intervention is in place, there has to be a debrief. And so that debrief would take place with, as Lori said, with the principal in the building and anybody else that was directly involved with that intervention.
Yes, and then I should go over that. If this was all reviewed with Tina and our PPS training team to go over to how to change the words to be softer and make it, sound less physical and how we're actually physical in nature. So I did have this all planned out very nicely 2 hours ago. I was going to say this, but that's it. That's all we have for today.
So I have a question. I don't think this is for you, Lori. I think it's for Tina. At some point, we had discussed last year, this is even before Larry, the CPI training I had brought up on public floor when I was not on the board. Who was receiving that training? And one of the points I brought up is that it wasn't mentioned or even part of a policy that like interim or substitutes or, interim teachers, are they going to be receiving this CPI training as well? The policy says employees, but it doesn't delineate specifically that breakdown. So I just want to make sure that we're going to be doing that.
Yeah, so right now, all of our aides get trained, all of our special education teachers get trained, all of some of our counselors are getting trained, our psychologists, in fact, 2 of our psychologists are trainers. Also, we're starting to train our sub aides because we recognize that,
Right.
sometimes can fluctuate. So we're really making a concerted effort. We have Robin DeFranco, David Clark, Robin Klopsky, and Krista Wardle. We have 4 trainers in our district. They're doing trainings all the time. In fact, they've increased the number that we're offering.
Okay.
So we are trying to spread far and wide.
So like when you did that bulk of
Yes.
hiring those 30 people at the end of the summer, is that incorporated into their training?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little background. on the training too. It's 2 nights, it's 8 hours, the initial training, and then
you have to have an annual refresher. It's a 3-hour course. So
Okay,
again, we're trying to get those people trained. It's a night commitment, so sometimes people have other commitments. We try to work them back in.
but we are working, like,
Yeah.
that's part of our protocol.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. Okay.
Great, thank you. Moving along, Superintendent of Schools report, Dr. Larry Schmigel.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, virtually or in person. We're so excited to have you, and thank you for the clapping as we return to this open session. I want to congratulate our very own Director of STEM Programs, Lisa Blank, on receiving the NYCATE Empire Award. We are thrilled to announce and celebrate the outstanding achievement of Lisa Blank, who serves as the Director of STEM Programs in the Watertown City School District. Ms. Blank is a dedicated and passionate educator who has been making a significant impact in the field of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As the Director of STEM Programs, she has been a driving force behind the innovative approaches to teaching and learning in these critical areas. Her dedication to promoting STEM education has not only benefited students, but has also inspired and empowered them. Let's give her a round of applause. The next thing that I want to update the public on is we are in continued conversation with the city of Watertown for the facility use agreement for our pools. So expect something at our next board meeting for that. The next thing, I'm going to play a Vanna White, and I want to thank did I say it wrong?
No.
Okay. You get a little spunky at this time of night. So we have had amazing conversations regarding our turf and over the 3,800 people that participated. So I asked the architect and the landscaper if they could please send us some samples. So we have 2 samples. One I'm holding up here is the Prestige Vertex and the Vertex Prime. Here, Mike is going to show the. Oh, sorry, Mike. Okay. So this is the model that we're hoping to go to, but what I would like to tell the community tonight is both of these samples are going to be available at the district office. If a community member, teacher, student, or whatever would like to see them, please feel free to stop in the district office. There's the 2 samples there. The Vertex Prime has all of the scientific research to follow if you're inclined and would like that information as well. Okay, that moves us to the strategic planning. We had over 100 people participate in our district strategic planning meeting with over 7 stakeholder groups. Last week, we had an amazing opportunity to see a variety of stakeholders. We had 40 that sat down and helped us take 18 priorities and really bring it down to 5. So I'm going to share with you tonight what those 5 are. Number 1, which is not a surprise to anyone in this room, is increasing the graduation rates. Priority number 2 is student engagement. Priority 3, student attendance. Priority 4, infrastructure, building and grounds. And priority number 5, enhancing our behavioral supports for students. So those are the 5 priorities. We've started coming up with a draft strategic plan. We're going to meet as an executive team, Lynn, Tina, Sally, and myself. We're going to present something to the board, and then we are going to work with a group of 12 to 15 people to help us quarterly review our strategic plan. We are hoping that this strategic plan takes us till June 30th, 2028. More information to come on that. The next thing I wanted to mention is each year the state requires an internal control audit. And so our finance committee, some of the members of the board sat through this meeting. They identified this year, well, I guess last year's team picked technology as an area that they wanted us to research. And so one of the things that they identified that's an area that we as a district can improve is the deactivation of former employees. So when we discontinue our relationship or our partnership, deactivating them in the different aspects of the district, finance, special education, student, school tools, etc. So we've got some work to do there, and we're going to be working as a team to identify what we want this year's focus to be for that same audit. And this ends with our Thanksgiving to students, families, faculty, and staff. I just want to thank everyone. I'm extremely grateful to serve as the superintendent of this fine district. I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday. As a reminder, our 12-month employees will be leaving 2 hours early tomorrow, and our offices and schools will be closed on Thursday and Friday, but we look forward to seeing everyone back here on Marvelous Monday. And that's it. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Items for consent agenda.
Resolve the consent agenda items A and B are hereby approved.
Can I have a motion, please? John, in a second.
Millie.
Millie, any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Items for board action.
Resolve that the annual internal audit and annual risk assessment of the school district as prepared by the firm of Questar 3 BOCES for the period ending June 30th, 2023. And the corrective action plans associated therewith is hereby accepted and approved.
Can I have a motion, please?
Lori.
Lori in a second. Kelly, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Whereas the New York State Education Department requires periodic condition surveys to assess the physical condition of school buildings, and whereas the Watertown City School District is scheduled for a condition survey in accordance with NYSED regulations, whereas King and King Architects has been identified as the selected firm to conduct the condition survey for the Watertown City School District. Whereas the estimated cost of the condition survey by King and King Architects is $150,000. Whereas the condition survey is scheduled to commence in the spring of 2024. Be it resolved that the Watertown City School District Board of Education authorizes the superintendent or their designee to take all necessary actions to facilitate the timely commencement and completion of the condition survey by King and King Architects. This resolution is effective immediately.
So I just want to point out to the public that this is a legally required task every 5 years. It helps us identify in a district what our needs assessments are as far as our buildings and grounds. The state aid ratio on a condition survey is 33 cents per square feet. And the total cost, even though it's 157,000, is 19 cents per square feet. So it'll be fully aidable.
Great.
I have a question about that. I'm glad I was gonna say that, but Sally, I just, out of curiosity, we're gonna be reimbursed and we're aidable because the state will pay for probably most of this. My question to you is they're charging us 18 cents per square foot. Is that within keeping with local RFPs when they're doing building condition surveys in other school districts?
I believe that.
Yes.
So
because
that's the going
the
rate.
going rate is up to 33 cents per square feet, so it's below what the square, and we had some add-ons. The original quote was 85,000. But we know that we have roof work that needs to be done. We know that our driveways and a lot of our school campuses are poor. So we added additional things, which is why that went from 85,000 to 157.
Yeah, I was looking more at the charge for.
Square foot.
Yeah,
It's
it
under-
is within keeping of local RFPs, okay,
And supports our strategic plan.
definitely.
Buildings and grounds, yes.
Anything else? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a,
Table.
Motion,
Motion to table.
I need a motion and a second on this one. I don't believe we.
You
did
didn't.
that.
Oh, you didn't do the motion for this.
Oh, for this one, for the bill, for the.
For the quote.
Randy.
John.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for telling me how to do my job. Motion carries. Okay.
For next
Okay,
meeting.
no.
Can I have a second?
Okay, so Lori's gonna make the motion to table. The policy
And I second that.
and John's.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to table carries.
Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, Dr. Larry Schmiegel, the Board of Education hereby approves the following: resignations, leaves of absence, appointment permanent part-times, appointments substitutes instructional, appointments substitute non-instructional.
Can I have a motion, please? In a second.
Millie.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of Dr. Larry Schmiegel, Superintendent of Schools, the following tenure appointment is hereby approved. Maureen Hillebrand, School Social Worker, effective date November 25th, 2023.
Can I have a motion, please?
John.
John, a second.
Millie,
Ellie, any discussion?
congratulations.
Absolutely.
Congratulations indeed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved that the educational student trips to the most are hereby approved.
Can I have a motion, please?
Lori,
And a second.
Millie,
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved that the following educational student trip is hereby approved. The Liberty students to the SUNY Oswego campus. The date of the trip is December 8th.
Can I have a motion, please?
Millie,
Millie, and a second.
John.
John, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's the end of the resolutions.
Is anyone here tonight wishing to address the board on non-agenda related public comments? Sully, nothing?
Is everybody still awake?
Upcoming dates to discuss: Wednesday, the 22nd to Friday, the 25th. There's no school. Thanksgiving recess. Thursday, the 23rd, and Friday, the 24th, buildings are closed. Tuesday, December 5th, we have a FAF meeting at 5 p.m. at the district office. And following that is our regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting at 6 p.m. Millie, what you got for us tonight?
I have a few things. First question, I don't know this. Do we have a facilities committee?
It's part of.
It's part of the
facilities.
Yeah.
So are we the facilities committee then? Okay,
Brian also, Brian.
and yeah, okay, I didn't know that. Cause that was brought up at that one meeting. So I participated in two really great meetings that I think is really incredible for our board. And it was the strategic planning committee that Dr. Schmiegel referenced. Both Randy and I were there. It was unbelievable to see so many community members there participating, giving their input. I felt for the first time that people in our community are really interacting and have a positive perspective on what's going on in the community and with the school district, and have a genuine interest in helping us move forward. And I haven't felt that for a long, long time, which is one of the reasons I wanted to sit on this board. So I thought that was very rewarding. Mr. Slater helped facilitate the meeting. It went very smooth. And it was really interesting for us to sit in a table, and we were separated in tables of 5. And it was interesting to see when we had to go and number like what our priorities was, and then they tallied up everyone's priority. It was so interesting to see how some of the, I can tell you one of the things that I think I'm wrong, but one of the things that I thought we were extremely deficient on, which didn't even make the top 6 or 18, was communication. Like everyone in that room didn't think communication was a problem. I've always thought communication was a problem. So that is really rewarding to me. And I got a lot out of that. So I wanted to share that with everyone because I do think communication is important, and I will continue to do that for the community. The other very great meeting, and I suggested that they come back and talk to all of us because it's very important to hear what they had to say, was we had a meeting with fiscal advisors, the architects, and our construction managers. They gave us an update on our capital improvement projects. The finance guy was able to tell us about how much money in terms of long-term planning. So a lot of it was very informative, and Jason sat on the board for many, many years, and it was really refreshing to him to hear all the terminology and the interpretation and the understanding of how all of this works. And Larry was very organized and had all these specific questions. And I feel like we're on the right path to asking the right questions and moving our district forward in terms of infrastructure and a capital improvement all overall. So I wanted to share that with the community. And I'm going to continue to harp on this because I think this is for Tina. Tina's been listening to me for a little bit about this. I'm going to continue to harp on this because I think it's moving forward. I know that you're doing a really good job in filling all the positions, but it is come to my attention. And I think that it's not just, I'm sure you're aware of it, but there's 3 reading specialists at Wiley. And because we have a lack of subs, and that's kind of a pervasive problem in the district for, lack of personnel. And these reading specialists are getting pulled into subbing. And, these kids who are assigned the reading specialists, they get letters the reading specialists have to send letters to the parents and say, you can't opt out of this. And the reading specialists are getting very upset because these kids can't opt out, yet they're getting pulled. And last year, one of the reading specialists was pulled 46 times for subbing. So I think in the interest of, securing our reading, our math, our graduation rate, like this is crucially important at that level. And I know we've been talking about it, and I know this is an active thing, but I want everyone and at Wiley and these teachers to know that we are working on this. And I think actually Dr. Schmiegel brought this up earlier in the year, that we may want to start thinking about having like a permanent sub, someone that's available to us all the time that can easily go and fill in, because this is extremely concerning. And if you can reach out to those people at Wiley so that this can be rectified, because it's detrimental to everyone all around. So I just wanted to make that, communicate that with you and make sure that we're all on top of that and trying to rectify that. Thank you for the pool. We're moving almost closer every day. And thank you to Jessica. We talked about you. You were absolutely stellar. Your presentation, very, very informative. You gave us kind of like a past, present, and future vision. The kids were amazing. You've done an incredible job here. And you really are a role model for what a principal should be. And a lot of the things you presented tonight, I think that people can learn from that and maybe bring it into their buildings. But you've done a phenomenal job here, and it's very, very impressive. I'm done.
I can't say it as eloquently as that, but thank you, Mrs. Blair, for hosting tonight. Obviously, there are some very impressive things going on here at Ohio, and this is my neighborhood. Not that I went to Ohio, but my neighborhood school. I'm only a few blocks away from here. Unfortunately, my wife stole my kids over to North, so they didn't have the opportunity, but very impressed. So looking forward to some of these events that your students have going on. Beyond that, I just want to say have a great holiday Thanksgiving to all of our faculty, all of our staff, all of our students. For those that are traveling, travel safe.
Thank you. Lori?
So I just wanted to talk to you. I actually sat on the health committee with Mrs. Blair, and we had a meeting this past Thursday about the trek to the North Pole. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. I just want to let you all know that I volunteered us to be part of that this year. So
when is it?
So they do the trek. It starts December 1st, and you have to track your miles. So I'm going to encourage you all to be healthy, because the entire district is going to be healthy. So we
representing the district are going to do that as well.
Just
So
tell us
we're
what
gonna
to
all
do.
Keep them, I'm going to, so.
Yay.
I'm just gonna let you know that we're gonna do that, because I figure we should fully support all the students and their activities.
Very nice.
So, and we all like a challenge. I know we're all competitive on this board, so I need to be excited. So, and I just wanted to tell, Jess, wonderful, wonderful job tonight. So I can't say, I mean, it's basically what she said. It was awesome. So, and it's always a pleasure to come to this school. You guys are great. And the scones were awesome too. Wanted to say congratulations to, you probably forgot this, Shutek, for signing for Division I scholarship.
Can you
today.
say that please out loud again?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, we had a Division I scholarship signed today, can I say her name?
Absolutely. Alex Matucci.
Alex, I just went blank.
Yeah,
Gosh,
Alex
it's late.
Matucci, yeah.
Alex Matucci, who just got signed to a Division I scholarship today. We were all invited to that. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend. I know that Millie did, so I just wanted to shout out to her that we were doing a special event for her today. So that's really awesome. And just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
She went to Bucknell University,
No.
which is amazing. Amazing for Watertown.
I missed my afternoon cup of coffee, so.
Yeah.
Clearly. Go ahead, Colleen.
Okay, I just want to once again thank our whole excellent job. And also thank everyone who was involved in the Maker's Fair in Rochester, the field trip that the approximately 150 students were given the opportunity to attend. I've heard nothing but great things about that.
Awesome.
Thank you for sticking around. We appreciate that.
Yes.
I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Tamlin. Thank you for taking music to another level. At this grade level, sets the stage, no pun intended, for the future. And you're a Watertown grad, aren't you? You didn't go to Watertown? South Jeff. Well, we'll claim you now. You can see it, those kids are excited and on fire for music.
Yes.
Really excited about that. Thank you.
Very nice.
Well, it's all been said. It was a pleasure and reminds us just how much we have to be thankful for. So. With that, motion to adjourn.
John.
And a second.
Go ahead.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See you next time.